Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Caregiver and Spoonie podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Banderas. And before we get started, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any episodes of the podcast. And once again, thank you for all your emails, your support, your stories, your feedback. That's what's actually helping the podcast grow and the community grow. So I really appreciate it. So thank you for that. And thank you for all everything that you guys are doing to spread the word about the podcast and the actual community. So I really appreciate it. So let's get into today's episode, shall we? Now, on this episode, I wanted to talk about you're not making it up. The reason why I wanted to talk about that is because don't you hate it when people act like you're making your condition up? Like they don't understand, they don't know what it is, they don't know what's going on, they don't know anything about it, but then they kind of make you feel like you're making it up, which I'm pretty sure this has happened to you. It has happened to me with when I had my sleep apnea before it was diagnosed. My own family was like, "Oh, you're fine. You're making it up. Eat, sleep, do all of this, and nothing will work." And the problem is that sometimes people they just give you all this nonsense advice. Like with chronic pain, like people will say, "Oh, just put vapor up all over your body and it will go away, or do this and do that and do this and do that," and then the doctors don't believe you. They really don't believe you because they don't understand certain conditions. Like there's so many things that they don't understand, and at one point, unfortunately, you start to think that you might be making it up, but this is because of all the preconceptions from the other people, that the people around you, that make you feel like that, where you have whatever illness you're going through, whatever chronic pain or whatever you're going through, but then people don't see it really, especially if it's um like fibromyalgia or certain conditions that cannot be seen because it's more like internal rather than external. So a lot of people will say like, "Oh, that person is making it up," and this other person is making it up. So because they don't understand, they don't see, they don't feel what you feel. That's the thing. Is like, because other people, if they don't feel or see what you're going through, they're never going to understand. That's pretty much what it is. I mean, I'm pretty sure like growing up, that has happened where you don't understand something that somebody's telling you because you really don't see it. Like when you have a conversation over the phone, and and somebody's telling you something, but you really don't understand it because you don't see it. You have to be, you're a visual person, and you have to see whatever they're telling you. So the same thing happens when it comes to like chronic illnesses and people. Like people if they don't understand it, if they don't see it, they're like, "I don't know anything about it." Like the best example that I have here for you is when it comes to depression. Me growing up, the the only thing that I heard about depression is that you can shake it off, or that you can just have like positive thoughts and it will go away. Well, that's not the case, but that's what I thought. So when my wife told me that she had depression and anxiety, I would just tell her like, "Oh, just shake it off, it will go away. Just have happy thoughts and everything like that," because that's the way that I was raised. Well, that way was completely wrong. And once I started understanding what depression was, um, because my wife was explaining it to me, and I read books about it, and I read more things about it, I was like, okay, then the way that I was raised, or the way that I was thinking about depression and anxiety, was the wrong way. So I was able to take care of my wife better once I was able to understand it. And that's why another thing that you have to make sure, especially if you're a spoonie, you have to understand that you don't need to let those reactions to get in your head. Like other people's reactions to your condition or your illness or whatever you're going through, don't let that get in your head, because if you do that, then you're gonna start thinking like, oh my gosh, like, am I really sick? Like, you're gonna start doubting yourself because of other people. The other people might be like, oh, it's nothing, or it's just take Advil and the pain will go away, or something like that. I have heard stupid shit like that being told to my wife, and I'm like, that's not how it works, you know. So that's why don't let those don't let those reactions get in your head, because if you start doubting yourself about your own illness or your own condition, what's going to happen is that you're not going to you're going to try to hide it pretty much. You're going to try to hide it, because you're going to feel like you're not going you're making this up, like no, there's nothing to do it, and that it's all in your head. Once you start thinking that, at that point, pretty much there's nothing that anybody else can do, because you might, and I've seen this, that's why I'm talking about this, is like you might not want to follow any type of doctor's advice or anything like that, because you might start thinking like, well, if this doesn't work, what's the point? Like, other people don't where other people are not going to see me getting better, so what's the point? You see, like, that's that I've seen this. That's why I wanted to talk about it, because it is it is very, very frustrating when you see people doing that to other people, to spoonies, when they're like, oh, I don't understand your illness, it's all in your head. And I know that doctors sometimes act like that. They make you feel like you're making it up, which I know that there are certain conditions that cannot be explained very well because of the pain, because of the suffering. So you just want somebody to understand you, but the doctor, your friends, your family, they might not be able to understand you. Because of that, you're gonna feel isolated. You're gonna feel like I said, like you're making this up, but you're not making it up. And that's why I created this podcast and everything, because I want people to speak up. The more we talk about chronic illnesses, probably the more people will be able to understand. So that's how you end the stigma. That's how you end like judgment towards invisible illness, if we talk about it. But it's up to you, and it's up to us to understand as well. It's up to you and up to us to be able to talk about it. Because the other thing that happens is that sometimes we feel like we have to prove that we're ill, that we're facing something, that we're in pain. And let me tell you this: you don't have to prove them anything. If you say you're in pain, or if you say I'm in pain, and somebody says like, oh, just take a Advil, that usually tells you they don't know anything about pain. They don't know anything about your condition. They don't know. They haven't had that type of pain in their lives. So don't take that as an offense. Don't take that the wrong way. Just be like, you know what? It seems like you don't understand what I'm going through. Let me show you. Let me tell you what this is. Literally, like, you can just be like, if you're willing to learn, if you want to listen to my story, go ahead and sit down. Let's sit down and let me tell you what it feels like. And hopefully they understand, because it is very, very, very hard for spoonies to be able to open up, because you feel like you have to, like you're fighting against them. Like, hey, listen now, believe me, literally. Like, you're fighting to be believe, literally. You're fighting for somebody to believe you. You're going against the current, literally, because people don't understand what's going on. They don't know how to help. Doctors don't know how to help. So one of the things that I have heard, not to my wife, but from other people at places that I have worked, is that when they go to the doctor actually says like, I don't know what else to do. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, there's nothing that I can do. So when you say that to somebody else, like, because obviously you need to vent, you're frustrated, you need to talk to somebody, and you say that to somebody, and that person doesn't understand what's going on. What's going to happen is that the person is going to say that, well, if the doctor doesn't know what's going on, and the doctor is a specialist, then it might be all in your head. So that's another thing, is like, because doctors don't know what to do, a lot of people believe like, oh well, if a doctor doesn't see anything wrong, then it's all in your head, or you're making it up, or you're a hypochondriac. Which, if you're a Spoonie, or you actually feel what you're feeling right now, you're not a hypochondriac. Because there's certain levels of pain where you know you're not a hypochondriac, like, you might be in so much pain that you can't even walk, that you can't even function. So I mean, that's not, you cannot fake that much pain. Let me tell you, like, I see it on my wife. I see it like with other Spoonies that I know. So I know what it's like, because like I said, this has happened to me. And I mentioned this before. I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but when I had my before I was diagnosed with sleep apnea, I was so tired. I was like in so much pain. My whole body was sore because my body wasn't getting enough oxygen during the night, so it wasn't able to heal or to recover. So people in my family were saying like, oh, you just need to rest, you just need to eat, you just need to do this. The doctors never did the right test or anything like that. So everybody in my family and friends, they were like, oh well, the doctor said that you're okay, so there's nothing wrong. But I was like, I'm tired. So I felt like I had to prove them wrong. But now I realized, you know what? I didn't have to prove them wrong or right or anything. I knew that I was there was something wrong with me, and there was. Oh, I'm not gaining enough oxygen if I don't wear my CPAP. Now that I wear my CPAP, I am actually doing a lot better. So the same thing might happen to you, where people don't believe you. They give you all this shitty advice, like, eat more, you have to eat more vegetables, you have to do this. I mean, that's what I was told. You need to sleep more, like, that's pretty much what I was told when I was going through all of this. And the worst part about it is that even when you have your diagnosis and the doctor can find what you're going through, or what exactly is wrong with you, or like the name of the condition, sometimes people won't even believe you. Sometimes people will say like, I never heard of it, so it must be something they made up just to make you feel good. I know this because I have heard about it. I have heard somebody say that to a Spoonie, not to my wife, but to actually somebody. I was like, wow. I was even mad, because I was like, that is so messed up and so close-minded. So just remember, you don't have to prove them anything. That's the best thing. That's the major point in this, for this episode. Don't try to prove them anything. If they believe you, good. If they don't believe you, just move on. Just let it go. Don't try to fight the current, pretty much. And it's not in your head. Like I say, it's not in your head. No, you're not making it up. You're not making it up, because if the pain is real, what you're going through is real. And don't let the reactions get in your head. Don't let them think. Don't let them make you think that you're making it up, because you're not. I can guarantee it. Like, I've seen this with my wife, with a lot of other Spoonies that I talk to, and I've seen and I know. So I know, and like I said, this has happened to me as well. So I know that you're not making it up. And that's why I created the community, so you can actually express yourself without feeling judged, or without being scared of not being believed, or of somebody not believing you, because the community is there for everybody. It doesn't matter what you're going through. The community is there for everybody. So that's what I wanted to talk about today on this episode. Thank you for your time. Thank you for everything. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Yeah, we're on those 4 platforms. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. The more you share, the more the more people you invite, the more we grow. That's pretty much what we want to do with the podcast and the community. And also, if you want to share your stories, don't forget to send it to me at the caregiver and spoonie@gmail.com. You can send it anonymously, so we can actually post them on the community and on the podcast, so people understand that other people actually suffer, and especially with everything that's going on right now, we need to show that we need to give support to each other, because if we support each other, we can get through this pretty much with whatever you're going through and whatever is going on outside in the outside world. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. And I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you guys are enjoying the episodes. Thank you for listening, and I leave you like always. As always, take care of yourself.